Good morning. This is Chloe Dawn, here with Giovanni Gallucci, and this is the Food and Beverage Trend Report.
Morning, Chloe. Wednesday deep dive. 3 this week that all look like formulation stories, and not one of them is.
They're all content stories wearing a lab coat. 1. The GLP-1 crowd shrank the plate and nobody's making content for it. 2. Dates just beat monk fruit, and a date film's better than a molecule. 3. Half the shelf independently landed on stripes.
For the coffee, start with the small plate.
So Kendall pulled this one, and the numbers are wild. 15% of Americans are on a GLP-1 now, and Morgan Stanley's got it at 55 million by 2035. They eat less, so every bite has to carry more. Protein, fiber, nutrients, all stacked into a smaller portion.
And here's the stat that reframes the whole thing. Mintel found 90% of GLP-1 users still buy ice cream, higher than the general population.
Wait, they're eating less but still buying the treat?
They didn't cut the joy, they cut the volume. That's a completely different shopper, and almost everybody's reading it as a recipe problem when it's an occasion problem.
Okay, so if the answer isn't reformulate, what's it?
It's the rhythm these folks eat on now, and nobody's on camera owning it. One small, loaded plate at 3 o'clock instead of a bag of something at 9. That eating pattern is a content lane sitting wide open. Takeaway 1. Teach the pattern, don't sell the pack. Make the explainer nobody's made yet. What one small plate that actually holds you looks like. Why the protein and fiber stack matters. In plain words. You become the person who explained the category, not the 10th brand shouting a claim.
Teach it how, though? People scroll right past a nutrition lecture.
You don't lecture, you show one plate. 15 seconds, real food, real portion, and you let the number do the hook. Takeaway 2, open the post on the receipt. 90% of them still buy the ice cream. Lead with that because it breaks the thing everyone assumes, and a broken assumption is the most shareable sentence you can write.
So the data's the hook and the plate's the payoff.
Right, and you make it a person, not a logo. Takeaway 3, cast one recurring face to carry it. Same host, same 3 o'clock, every week, walking through the small plate. People don't follow a portion size, they follow somebody they trust to eat like them. A named character beats a brand account every time here, because this is an identity shift, and identity travels on a face.
How long before that face actually builds something?
Give it a full quarter of the same slot before you judge it. This audience is deciding who to trust with a real change in how they eat, and trust is slow. The brand that shows up at the same 3 o'clock for 90 days becomes the default. The one chasing a new hook every week never earns the reflex.
What's the mistake everyone's about to make copying this?
They'll slap GLP-1 friendly on the front of a pack and call it a day. That's a label, not content, and it ages the second the term gets tired. The brand that built a face and a rhythm still has an audience when the acronym stops trending. You're building a habit. They're renting a buzzword.
Where does this kind of thing live best? Main feed or stories?
Main feed, and pin it as a series so the whole rhythm reads as one show. Stories vanish in a day, and this is a habit you're building over months. You want a new person landing on your profile and seeing 90 days of the same 3 o'clock stacked up. That back catalog is the proof the pattern's real, and it's the one thing a competitor launching next week can't fake.
And the giants can't move at that speed.
The giants are in a room arguing about grams. You've got a phone, a plate, and a point of view. The reformulation is table stakes. The person eating it on camera is the part they can't clone by Friday.
Story 2. Eddie went through 652 emerging brands, and the sweetener winners weren't the lab ones. Dates, honey, maple, plain cane sugar. Stevia showed up in 3 brands, monk fruit in 4, allulose in 1. The real stuff buried them.
So the novel sweetener pipeline everybody funded for a decade just lost to a fruit you can grab in any produce aisle.
Why'd it flip? Zero sugar was the whole promise for years.
Because zero sugar turned into a question instead of a claim. You read monk fruit, allulose, natural flavors, and you start wondering what any of that even is. You read sweetened with dates, and there's nothing left to ask. And here's the part that matters for us. A date films, a molecule doesn't.
Say more on that?
You can shoot a medjool date getting pitted. You can shoot maple actually pouring, slow. That footage is warm and satisfying, And it's the one thing the zero sugar brand physically can't put on camera because their sweetener is a white powder with a 4-syllable name. Takeaway 1. Make the ingredient the hero shot, not the finished product. The sweetener itself, close up, in motion. The pour, the pit, the crush. That's the entire ad, and you never said a word.
So it's the ingredient as B-roll, not the package beauty shot.
The ingredient carries it. Takeaway 2, and this one scales. Find the brand across the aisle using the same real sweetener and make content with them. The date-sweetened granola and the date-sweetened bar aren't competitors this quarter. They're a collab. One shoot, cross-tag, two audiences that already believe the same thing. A category that films together gets found together.
That's a hard swallow, putting somebody else's brand in your own feed.
It's cheaper reach than any ad, and the shared belief does the heavy lifting. Takeaway 3, turn it into a running segment. A weekly sweetener reveal. Same format every time. You pull one product, flip it, read the front, show the real ingredient behind it. Do that for a month, and people start mailing you products to check. Now the audience feeds you the content, and the whole thing reads as a show, not a sales post.
What's the trap with the collab, though?
Making it a logo swap instead of a real shoot. Two brands standing there tagging each other just reads as an ad. Put both products into one honest use, one recipe, one moment, and let the audiences meet inside the content, not down in the caption.
Who's actually doing the ingredient as hero thing well right now?
The honey and maple brands are closest because their sweetener already looks like something. The date folks are catching up fast. The tell is whoever shoots the raw ingredient more than the finished bar. If your camera roll is all beauty shots of the package, you left the best footage you own sitting in a bowl on the counter.
Does a small brand look late if it doesn't have a date-sweetened SKU by fall?
Only if it copies the label instead of the mechanic. You don't need that exact product. Shoot whatever real sweetener you already use and let people watch it happen. The move is the honest ingredient on camera, and that's available to anybody with a phone today.
So honesty becomes the format, not the fine print.
The honesty is the entertainment. Big Food spent 30 years teaching people that sweet had to come from a lab. A date on camera quietly says that was never true, and you never had to say it out loud.
Last one, and it's the fun one. Clark flagged it. 13 plus emerging brands, totally unrelated shelves, snacks, tinned fish, drinks, supplements, all independently landed on striped packaging this cycle. Bold bands, racing stripes, candy stripe.
So a bunch of brands arrived at the same design without ever talking to each other. That tells you it's not a fashion thing, it's physics.
Physics how?
Stripes create movement. On a crowded shelf, they catch the eye from a distance. But that's the shelf read, and the shelf's the smaller stage now. The bigger one is a thumb moving up a screen. Takeaway 1. Design the pack for the scroll, not the shelf. Shoot it as a 2-second vertical pan where the stripes actually move through the frame. Most brands photograph the package flat and dead. You want it built to travel in motion because that's the real competition.
So the package is a social asset before it's a shelf object.
It's a content decision that happens to sit in a store. Takeaway 2. Make the pack a thing customers want to film. When the design pops in motion, people shoot it for you. In their kitchen, in the car, nobody asked them to. Design for the customer's camera, not the planogram, and every buyer turns into a tiny distributor. You built the free reach into the object itself.
And how do you know which design actually pops before you commit to a print run?
This is where the AI earns its keep. Takeaway 3. Test the pack in motion before you print it. Generate a dozen versions, run them as thumbnails, watch which one holds a thumb in a feed test. You're not guessing at the printer anymore, you're letting the scroll vote first. That's the smartest thing AI does for a small brand right now. Kill the weak option before it costs you a run of 10,000 units.
Isn't there a risk everybody's stripes just blur into each other now?
Sure, if you stop at stripes. The convergence is the warning. When 13 brands land on the same look, the design quits being the difference and the motion becomes it. Whoever shoots it moving, and shoots it best, wins the exact second everyone else went matchy. Sameness on the shelf is your opening in the feed.
Does any of this work for a brand that can't afford a rebrand?
You don't need a rebrand, you need a reshoot. The pack you already have has an angle that moves better than the one you keep photographing. Find it, pan it, post it. The redesign can wait. The way you film what's already on the shelf can change this week.
So stripes aren't really the lesson.
Stripes are just this month's answer. The lesson is your package is a piece of content, and if you design it for the shelf alone, you already lost the surface that matters more. Build it for the scroll, and the shelf takes care of itself. 3 stories that look like they belonged in a test kitchen. The small plate is a content lane, dates beat the lab because a date films, and your package is really a piece of social. None of it needs a budget. It needs you to see a feed where everybody else sees a shelf.
That's the food and beverage trend report from gallucci.net. Find us wherever you listen, leave a rating if this one helped, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See the feed first, talk then.